All right, so glad to be back right here on the Heatwave. My name is Charlie. So glad you could join me for another exciting week. And I gotta thank you so much for the love you're showing us on social media. Go ahead, like the page if you haven't yet. It's QTV Zambia. All right, so my guest today is an amazing entertainer. He's won multiple awards, and he's actually a key figure in Zambia's entertainment industry that you can't talk about Zambian music without mentioning his name. He's traveled the world performing to masses, and he's been in and out of the country. He's got award top charting singles, and he's here with me in the studio. Such a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the freshest, dopest name in the game, Macky too. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
Great to have you on the show.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely amazing, man. Now, I've been following you on Instagram, and you make being a father look so good. How's dadding going?
I wish I could say it's as easy and as glamorous as you put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a change you can't really prepare for, you know what I mean? It's growth, so
right.
You can't really see what's coming, no matter how many books, movies, or stories you hear about being a father. It's something different, so it's something very unexpected. But I've got a partner who's loving and a daughter who's Idain.
Absolutely amazing.
It's wonderful, man.
Absolutely great. Has it changed your way of life in a way?
Of course, man. It's like getting married. You know, it's not just about you anymore. You're taking this tremendous, huge step in life, and you know it's not just about you anymore. You're looking at your wife, your partner too. So you know, having a child is an extension of that. You know, you're not just looking at you and your wife, you're looking at a child or so. So even the decisions that you make, you really look at that before you make them. So it forces you to be more responsible, and yeah.
Absolutely great. So, man, people look at you today and the success that you've attained, and people lose the fact that you started from somewhere. All right. So I want you to take me back. Where does Macky 2 come from?
Again, it's a lot of people. There's one thing I read a couple months ago, and it really moved me. It's so true. A lot of people are rewarded in public for what they've practiced for years in private. So you don't see the work in progress. You only see someone getting those awards, or someone driving a nice fancy car, or someone building mansions. You don't see the sweat and blood and tears that were there before they got to that point. There are artists who are fortunate enough that the moment they decide to be artists, they go into a studio and the next day they have a big song.
Right.
You know what I mean? But me and a lot of other artists out there started way back. You know what I mean? My first studio recording was in 2002, when I was just like in my 10th grade. Wow. You know what I mean? And the time when I just started like getting a bit of recognition was like maybe 7 years later. You know what I mean? So it's not as simple as people might think. I think my first breakout song that I felt like, okay, this one is nationwide. It's touched every corner of the country was a song I did with Afunika called Mami News.
Yeah. I
think that was the first song. Of course, before then, I still had songs like Ndimupondo, Atihao 2010, Nanaka, Takeover, I still had my songs.
Right.
But to get to a point where you have a song that everybody can't like ignore was that one song, you know what I mean? And there were years, like a lot of years, because that song, I think we recorded it in 2011.
Right.
So from 2002 to 2011, that's like 9 years.
9 years later.
Of being an upcoming artist, you know what I mean? Trying to push, you know. But, and that's one thing I love about my journey, is because it happened so slowly, gradually, that it made me appreciate every moment.
Right.
It's taught me how to make money off the one song that I make. You know what I mean? It's made me know how to take this fame thing, or how to react to social media posts, or how to just treat fans, or how to perform. You know what I mean? Because it's not just you start today, tomorrow you are required to perform at the stadium and everybody's watching and you make a fool out of yourself. I didn't get that opportunity. The time I was making a fool out of myself was when I was nowhere near TV. So
away from the cameras and the spotlight.
So exactly, like I had a lot of preparation before I got to a point where everybody's listening and watching. Yeah. But it's every rapper's got this story where they tell you, no one believed in me, they looked down upon me, but I had to. Yeah, man, it's like that. I haven't really met anyone who said, from the moment I stepped out, like everything has been smooth. Everybody, no matter how gifted or how talented you are, you need to believe in your craft first before anything. And I think for a lot of us, especially people who are doing very well in our industry, are people who knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they knew, like, this is a purpose for my life. Because I think that's the most important thing for me.
Right.
It's the two most important days in someone's life, according to me: the day you were born and the day you realize why you were born. So the day you realize why you were born is the day you realize, like, purpose for your life. Like, why am I here? What was I meant to do?
Right.
You know, there are a lot of people who go on and become nurses because they like the all white swag, and not because they really have it in them. Because
it's not a calling.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or people who decide to be teachers when they're not really teachers at heart. You know what I mean? They're not patient. They can't even explain things nicely.
Yeah.
You know? So it has to be a calling. It has to be like, this is a purpose for a life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped me. When I was in high school, I already found out exactly what I wanted to do. And so no matter how many difficulties I faced or how many obstacles I faced, I knew, like, there was no plan B. Like, this is it.
This is what I got right here.
You know what I mean? Even now, a lot of people feel like, okay, yeah, this is it. You made it. But I don't think I've made it. My goal and my dream is bigger than what I've achieved. You know what I mean? I look forward to time when someone will bring up a Grammy. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be me, but I want to be part of the people who helped make it happen.
Right. Yeah. So now, most of the time, I'm sure you get this all the time, where young artists or aspiring get into your inbox, and all of that. Without purpose, how do you know this is your gift and this is your purpose? How did you discover yours? Probably could just help out somebody out there, because I know a lot of people that get into music because they see Market Twiz on stage. Yeah, like, I could do that. How did you discover a purpose?
The thing is, just because I'm inspired by the president doesn't mean I should be a politician. You know what I mean? I can still be inspired by him and still follow my own goal and my own purpose. You know what I mean? I know I inspire a lot of young kids out there, but it doesn't mean they have to do what I do, or they have to go through what I go through. I'm inspired by a lot of people, man. And what I do is I let that inspiration fuel my drive, not what they're doing, what I'm doing. I use that inspiration as fuel for what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's you have to try out a lot of things, and what you're really meant to do, you always have passion for it. You always have love for it. It's not hard to tell, like, this is really me. You know, there are people are born with it. It's a gift that's in you. You don't learn it. You don't go study for it. You're born with it. There are people who athletic. Yeah. Then you know, like, what I'm supposed to be doing is supposed to be in sport there are people who are creatives, and like there are people who are entertainers. There were kids back when I was growing up like film.
You never even want to watch it. Like,
even when you watch the movie, you're like, no, that one is better. Whatever. So
I know, right? So that's a talent on its own. It's a gift.
Man. Not everyone could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everyone would do it. It was selected people, and those people are storytellers. You know what I mean? They are storytellers. Even those are people who end up being speakers or comedians or people who are meant to be on stage and narrate things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes even the greatest of jokes will either be dry or it'll crack people's ribs depending on the person who's delivering the joke.
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. And I read somewhere like your gift, you need to ask yourself, what is it that I do the absolute best with the least amount of effort? That's
exactly.
it. Kamshawade doesn't struggle to play soccer.
Exactly.
Messi doesn't struggle to play soccer. You just play it.
Yeah.
So you need to, the moment you ask yourself, I think that's a cool moment, man. That's absolutely cool. That's absolutely cool.
That's why it's important. Back in the days we had a lot of recreational places where you could go, parks, tennis clubs, rugby clubs, and pretty much everything. I don't know about here, but on a Cobra Belt, because of the mines.
Yeah.
a lot of those things.
Yeah.
But now, I don't think if, like, you're a kid growing up in Chama and your gift is like golf.
Yeah.
I don't think
how are you gonna discover that? It's gonna be crazy for you to
discover that. But I think what I'm trying to say here is people are gifted in specific areas. Right. But as long as you land somewhere near what your gift is, I think you'll be okay. Like if you're an athlete and you were meant to be in sport, and so whether you're supposed to be playing tennis and you find yourself playing football, I don't think you'd be that bad because you're an athletic and sport it has to be in your field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm supposed to be in entertainment or in media, I'm supposed to be a radio presenter and I find myself somewhere in production, it's okay. I don't think I'll be as miserable as if I was an accountant.
It's something
somewhere
close to what you love.
Yeah, doing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely great. All right, man. So I want to talk to you about rap music here in the country.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you write music and talk about your life experiences, and it's hard to see the times that you say there were times you would walk around broke, no money on you. Is that stuff real?
Yeah, man. It's like I said, man. My mom died when I was 8. My dad died when I was in the 7th grade. I think I was like 15 or 16. Yeah, like 15.
Yeah.
And we had to move from like our normal way of living to some small 2-bedroom house on a Cobra Belt. I want to stay with my aunt and my uncle. My uncle was a miner. And life drastically just changed. Even when I started making music, we couldn't afford studio time. We couldn't. A lot of that music, when you listen to a lot of that music that we made back in the days, it's really bad quality. Some of it is distorted, and because we couldn't pay for studio time, so we had to learn how to make our own music.
Right.
A lot of those to my first videos. This is why I'm heart inclusive. I made the videos myself because I couldn't afford to pay a guy to make the video for me.
Wow. You
know what I mean? So of course we come from very, very humble beginnings. Even the first songs that we recorded were songs that we recorded. You don't feel about I'm gonna put potential it's my attention that's quite that entire.
Yeah.
And how I really got into music, or how I discovered my talent, or how I discovered this is really what I was meant to do is kind of like a funny story, but in school there was these things that I'm not sure if they still have them, variety shows.
Yeah.
It's like towards the end of the term when you're about to close, you have like a variety show, then you close. So variety show was, like the following week. So I went to see people were rehearsing for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this kid who was rapping, But
Yeah.
I was like, I think I can do better than this.
Right.
And the boys I was with dared me like, nah, you come tomorrow and write something and come and perform.
And show us.
Yeah, and I went home, wrote a rhyme. I always used to write music, like Tupac lyrics in my books and whatever. But at that very moment, it's the first time I ever attempted to write like my own lyrics. And yeah, I can't remember the actual rhyme.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went on stage and blew everybody away. And from that moment, everybody in school knew me as the rapper guy.
Was that a turning point for you now? Like, okay, I gotta do this.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, wait a minute, I think we have something here. But like I said, we couldn't afford studio time, so I wasn't even thinking of going to the studio or making my own music. I was just thinking, oh, wow, maybe I can perform even at the next variety show or something. Yeah. Anyway, so there was this kid, like the following term, who wanted to record like a song at some studio, and he needed a rapper on the song.
Mm-hmm.
So he was advised that guys who rap. So they came and they got me. I went to the studio, and after I put my verse, the producer liked it so much that he said, okay, so can go over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I recorded my first song. I think it was called Hear Me.
Yeah.
It's probably some stuff you never hear. But yeah.
Wow.
That's how it all started for me. After I just recorded that one song, I was like, wait a minute, I think there's something here. Mm-hmm. And everybody who heard the song kind of felt like, oh, you actually do have potential.
Right. Great stuff. So you did a song with Afunika, blew the whole nation out, and you started getting shows. Do you remember a performance that almost brought you to tears by just seeing the love you're receiving from people?
Unfortunately, again, I wish I could find like an epic moment.
Yeah.
But like I said, it happened gradually, such that you don't even know. You just find yourself somewhere, performing in front of the president. You just find like your music is all over the place. Like from making that one song that only a few friends of mine knew, we made another song that like the neighborhood knew, to another song that people in the area knew, to another song that the whole town knew, to another song that the whole Copper Belt was buzzing about. And it's like that here, like there's music that's big on the Copper Belt, and here people have never even heard
the song. Yeah.
There's music that's big here, and on the Copper Belt it would never make it, because I don't know if it's the Nyanja or what, I don't know. Wow. But yeah, there's just that. Like if you have a big song from the Copper Belt and it's big here, and they've really made it.
Wow.
So it happened gradually. By the time I was getting to a point where I was doing that song with Afunika, on the Copper Belt, I was already big. Like I wouldn't get on a bus.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So by the time I was getting to that point, it didn't hit me as, man, I've got a big song.
I got it. It's here, but
no,
you had already gone.
Just that sort of thing where it's big on a Copper Belt and you don't really know how much further it has gone. So when you start getting calls from Lusaka, Livingston for gigs, that's when you know it. Oh, so it's actually happening.
And crossing downs.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was already surrounded by people who were doing that already. Mm-hmm. Like this is like 3 years ago, we had Dundee with I Love You Mommy joint.
Right.
And we did a tour with him, so I'd go open for him before he comes on. And a year after Dundee's debut, we had Baska with his Zua.
Yeah, that time, yeah.
So Basco was like my partner then, you know what I mean? We toured the whole country with him with that particular song.
Yeah.
After Basco, we had Afunika breakout. He also had a breakout song called Marinso.
Yeah.
You know, again, we jumped on that wagon. You know what I mean? So by the time we're getting to a point where, okay, I'm being called, it was just like, we've done this, but now I'm just the one headlining.
Yeah.
But I've been here before, you know what I mean? I've performed for this crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really amazing, man. That's really totally amazing. Which particular song would you sit back and say, that really brought me a lot of money? Particular song that you have in mind? I know you have a stream of hits, some of them award-winning, but which particular song would you say, wow?
Okay, let me just, sorry, I don't have short answers. I'm really
it's all good. It's your flow, man.
But yeah, what we try to do is, I'm sure, I hope a lot of artists will maybe use some of this information I'm giving out, you know. It might work, it might not work for you, but for us, from the get-go, we knew you wanted to be a household name. Like you knew, like you need to be like a big artist in this country. And for you to be a big artist in this country, you need to appeal to everybody. Because in this country, you can't sing a reggae, you can't album. Like the audience is not that wide. For like strictly reggae,
yeah.
I'm a Rasta bakupenda. I just cut
my dreads also, so I'm no longer part of that.
Come on, you weren't even a Rasta, man. You just
had
dreads. So anyway, so you can't just sing a strictly rumba album. You can't sing a strictly R&B or a strictly hip hop or whatever. If you want to be a household name, you need to put out music that every person will kind of feel like, oh, at least there's one song for me there.
Yeah.
And like, regardless where they come from or age group or status or whether they come from the get-go or they should have like, they should feel like, okay, that song is for me.
Right.
Or they can relate. So from the get-go, that's where we wanted to get. But we knew you can't just shoot blindly. You need to have a target audience. You need, and down to the letter to, okay, what age group, what demographics are we looking at?
Yeah.
And what type of genre will enable me to get followers easily or to get people to understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I've always been hip-hop oriented. I always loved hip-hop. So we decided to start from there, from making hip-hop music that was really youthful, vibrant for young people. And after we started getting a buzz there, we decided to make that music street. So it was hip-hop, but it was still very street because we had to make a mark on the street. So the music was blowing up on the street. Then, like any other business person, you have to now start tapping into other markets and trying to see how you can widen your audience. That's when we started dropping my songs like those Flavor Boy joints like Monafe Fuanchinja, Walembe Pathe, Nanaka.
So that's like expanding now.
Like, yeah, trying to get the ladies on our side.
Oh, yeah, right.
Trying to get the ladies on our side too. So by the time we're getting to Mami Nyuze, it was really us now just trying to get to everybody because Afunika was doing something completely different from what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I did that collabo in the same year is the time we did Ndimuponda All Stars, if you remember very well, and we pretty much got everybody in the industry.
That was the bang of a song, man.
Yeah, and not only did we try to unite the industry and try to get everybody to work together on one project, it was also a way of me tapping into all those artists' market.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Quite a business mind right there. And talking about uniting the industry, you are one advocate that always talks about how we can better the industry. Most of the time, you're always vocal on social media and talking about what do you feel is still the missing link in the music industry right now? Because we see a lot of artists stay on the same level for a whole long time, regardless of how good the music is. What is missing?
Yeah, investment. We need money. Whether you like it or not, there's no money. A lot of people who are not in the music industry don't really look at it as a business.
Yeah.
All over the world, anywhere where they actually have like a lucrative industry, they have a lot of stakeholders who come in and invest money into the industry. That's how you can make money. Use money to make money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Initially, how it's supposed to work is the label of For Entertainment, for example, it's got so much money, and then they identify talent, this young kid from the ghetto, and they tell him, look, so we're going to sign a 5-year contract with you, and in this 5 years, we are really in charge of your music. So they give the artist an advance payment of maybe 500,000 kwacha. We don't want you to work, don't want to see you hustling or sangwa pamo or sanga pamakap paria or let street.
Yeah.
Like, this money means you will just be in the studio, and when you come out, people should see that this is a celebrity.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, when you pull up in a car, some guy opens your door, there's security, where you're going to be seated, it's already reserved, and celebrity status.
Yeah.
Without that status, you are a regular guy. Believe me, whether you like it or not, if you love this song so much, like, this is a big song.
Yeah.
And then the time you get to meet the artist, that
kills the whole vibe. Wow.
You know what I mean? But there are situations where even before you are familiar with someone's music, but when you just see them, you know, like, okay, this is a superstar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of people come and pay 500 pin to watch an international artist, because of that, because they have created that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's missing. We need people to invest in this and to just realize that this is Zambian music and we are Zambians.
Yeah.
You know, that Nigerian music that you're making a fuss about is not your music, it's Nigerian people's music. You guys are Zambian and this is Zambian music.
Yeah.
And if you want to see this Zambian music get as big as Nigerian music, you need to support it. You need to be more patriotic. Yeah. It's heartbreaking every time I hear someone tells me, I don't listen to Zambian music. And I'm like, do you know how bundu that sounds?
Could that also be the reason why the private sector has been withholding their sponsorship to invest in artists?
Exactly.
Because one of the reasons I usually get, even when there's war on Twitter about music, is that the private sector cannot inject money in Zambian music because you guys sample a lot of other guys' music. What's your reaction to that?
Oh man, that we sample a lot. Okay, look at the other, because I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of sampled music.
Yeah.
But you can't say it's 50% or 90% of Zambian music is sampled. No, you can't say that. That's an insult. Maybe there's 5% of people are sampling music.
Yeah.
But what about the 95% who are making genuine music? What about people like Wezi, people like Chef 187? What about people like a lot of people who are making great music? What about them?
Right.
What about Sakala Brothers? What about all these artists who are making great music? Why are you not sponsoring them? Sponsor them and say, okay, we're not sponsoring those guys because those guys are copy. Sponsor something before you. But like I said, I don't really. It's sometimes we have to sacrifice. You know what I mean? And for a lot of these corporates, they have what is called corporate social responsibility.
Right.
It's a pity they really every time they have to take this money or this sponsorship to like orphanages and stuff that will really make them look like, okay, you see, we're helping.
Yeah.
But it would be great if they, part of this corporate social responsibility was had the industry involved. And I'm not just talking the music industry. There's a lot of great stuff that's happening in the fashion industry, for example, and they're still not getting the sponsorship that they deserve.
Right.
I know a lot of people. I know people who make shoes in Kamala and write made in Italy or made in America or made in China because they know, like, made in Zambia.
Nobody's gonna buy.
You know what I mean? And we like that. We don't love ourselves or Zambia enough. We're not as patriotic enough. You know, people like to say, you know, I dress Italian, smell French,
yeah,
you know, and speak British.
I'll do that. I love
you know what I mean? Like, people like, it's only recently, if you notice the trends in music, it's only recently where like street music or someone being street or ghetto became cool. Like only the last few years where it was like you were enough Macombani and it would make sense. Like Chile Pule Baby.
Yeah.
And, you know, you find everybody dancing to a song. It's only that. And the funny thing is, it's easier to relate to this music than it is to relate to some American guy who's dubbing all over the song.
That's right.
You know, because this is you. You know, this is engraved in you. It's part of your DNA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somehow, people always find it harder to, you know, to support Zambian music. But I think we're getting there. I think, shout out to a lot of people who supported Zambian music and Zambian artists. I think we're better than we were 5 years ago. Shout out to everybody who paved the way for us to be here. And I think that's what should happen. Right. The things should get better. The way technology gets better, you know, smartphones get smarter and better. It's the way the industry should get better.
Right.
You know, people should pave a way for new acts, and when new acts come through, should find the industry in better shape.
Exactly.
When people tell me things like,
yeah,
I always tell them, if the student is not better than the master, then the master has failed completely. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of artists that I sign are artists that I feel have potential to even become better than me. And when I see it happen, you know, I'm so proud. Because, like I said, these artists don't start from square one or from where we started from. They start from where we are now. If I've got 200,000 followers on my social media pages and I sign an artist who's got 0 followers, and I tell people, this is my new artist, he's dope, follow him. At least 50,000 people follow him instantly. Like
definitely, yeah.
And it's like that. We give him a platform that he wouldn't have gotten on his own. We give him a platform like, I'm here and I bring a kid from nowhere and people will listen to him. Like people who are listening to me and watching me will start watching him instantly.
Right.
And that's what we do. That's why they should be better. That's why the industry should be better after we leave.
Right.
Yeah.
You are one of the people that have got the greatest influence, both on a national and global level. What do you feel is the role of an artist in politics?
A lot of people tell me, as an artist, you need to be non-partisan. You need to stay away from politics and just make sure you speak for the people.
Yeah.
You know, speak for the people. Always side with the people.
Right.
Who are the people? You know, because whether you like it or not, this is my take, and everything that I say here is my opinion. You know, it doesn't have to be right, but I've got the right to my opinion.
Right.
So, I believe even the price of tomato at the market is determined by the decisions that politicians make. Even just crime in the ghetto, in the streets, people are robbing and stealing. It's because of these decisions that politicians make. If there's no employment, people resort to other means of getting money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Medicine at the hospital, school fees, everything. Our livelihood depends on the politician's decision.
Right.
So whether you like it or not, as a musician, I need to be involved in the politics. I need to be involved in the politics. And I've always told people this, with great power comes great responsibility. I have a responsibility not only to entertain, but to educate and inform people, to inspire the nation.
Right.
But what happens is you decide. Like if I feel, for example, like candidate A is the right man for the job, like this guy will save the country, this guy will get my people out of poverty. If I'm an artist, what will stop me from using my influence to support that guy?
Doesn't that make you partisan?
Yeah, but if I solely feel like this guy's the right man for the job,
yeah,
like if I feel like this guy will really help my people, I feel like there's nothing wrong with me really saying, guys, look at this guy, look at what he's done.
Right.
I feel there's nothing wrong with it. And
what if you paid to sing for Guy B, even if you're not feeling him?
That's something completely different now.
Yeah.
That's something that has to do with your personal morals or work ethics. There's people who are business minded, and sometimes it's completely business. Like for example, if a certain network provider calls me and tells me our SIM cards are shiny, even if their network is not that good, and you hire me to go and talk about it, I'll go and talk about it because you paid me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
that's a strictly business decision.
Yeah, but there are things that really directly affect my people, and it has to be a decision that is not only made because it makes business sense, but it should also logically and morally make sense.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of these artists that you see and condemn and say they are caddas, that's how they have operated. If you really know me,
yeah,
you know I've never switched sides. You know I've always been with one specific party, and I've endorsed it because I have believed they're the right people for the job. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if today you see me supporting this side, today you see me this side, then you know I've been paid for doing it. You know what I mean? And I don't think
love that. That's a
happening.
disclaimer right there. I totally love that. All right, so now let's. What do you think? I know you got a personal relationship. What do you think about Pilato though?
The best. What I've always. Sorry. It's sad when you always have something to say about everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's my stance right now. I don't think I should give my opinion about everything. I'm one person who believes sometimes the more you say, the more you're likely to say something foolish. You know? The only thing I can say about Pilato's situation is I wish we could get to a point where people from with very diverse and different opinions can sit down and have a chat peacefully. Right. You know what I mean? Regardless how different your opinion is, if we can just sit down and talk, then we'll move forward. But what has happened over the past is, remember I put out a song called Treason last year?
Right.
Yeah, a song about this girl. Anyway, so
a lot of people had different opinions.
Yeah, a lot of people.
They wanted to understand it the way they wanted to.
Yeah, I even had death threats over the song.
Oh.
So I understand what Pilato is going through, but the thing with Zambia today is you want freedom of speech to work when it's working in your favor. You know what I mean? Like, for example, the time we put out that Treason song, people from the other side felt like, how can you say that? How can you put out a song like that? You're an artist. You're not supposed to.
Right.
And then when things flip to the other side, they're like,
hey, like
it's freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech. Let him speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But all in all, I just feel like we need to get to a point where people are not afraid to speak out. You know, of course, I don't agree with the way Pilatus spoke out. I think we should really be mindful of how we say what we want to say.
Right.
We should make sure it's not hateful, it's not hate speech, it's not disrespectful. But the point is, we should be able to sit down, man to man, and share our different views peacefully. That's the only way we'll move forward as a country. That's the only way we'll get rid of this division that's on us right now.
Great stuff. All right. So before we close now, recently I've noticed you talk about God a lot in your music. Do you have a personal relationship with God?
Yeah, man. I've always been a Christian. I tell people. From the time I was young, I grew up in a home where the way the church you know, that sort of thing. So even when I was old enough to make my own personal decision about church and God, I went and got baptized. I got baptized in 2004.
Right.
2004, yeah. That's when I got baptized. I'm used to that, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I believe in traditional churches. It
awesome
kind of
stuff.
it feels like church. You know what I mean? Like even the music it puts you in that mood. You know, not that I'm bashing anyone, but sometimes you go to a church and people are dubbing.
Yeah.
You know, there's crump music and it just feels like you're in a club. Now they're talking about God in a club. You know what I mean? But for me personally, it feels better if I'm in church and it feels like church. It puts me in that mood when people, they're not really strict, but people watch what they dress, what they wear in church.
It's modest.
Yeah, and the music and the whole thing just puts you in a mood to pray and worship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm used to that. In terms of the music, I believe God didn't give me a gift to rap or to sing. He gave me a gift to make good music.
Right.
And I don't think gospel as a genre or secular as a genre of music. It's just a classification of this music is for God and this music is anything that is not for God. So there's gospel rumba, there's gospel hip hop, there's gospel. So it's just gospel is not really it's a message, the message in the song.
Yeah.
And I think God wouldn't want me to talk about one message my whole life. Like He's blessed me so much that I can talk about anything. You know, I can teach people through my music, I can educate people through my music, I can inspire through my music, and it doesn't have to specifically be a gospel song.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. A lot of music that we've put out, there's actually a very conscious message to it. Ndimopondo, for example. Umupondo, the word itself means thug or criminal, but on the street the language evolves, so it means a warrior, someone who's triumphed, someone who's been through so much and still standing, someone who refuses to give up. So that's the Ndimopondo in the song. Wow. And Nanguanching is a song that talks about not giving up, always being resilient. No matter how many times you fall up, you have to get up. You know, just refusing to give up.
Yeah.
Lolo. It talks about how you need to understand exactly what's going on, find out the truth before you react. A lot of this music, believe me, it has like conscious message to it, and I don't see anything wrong with the music that I do. Even when I go to church, I'm sure no matter how much you look at me with that evil look or evil eye, I don't think you can point at one song and say, but this song, what were you thinking when you did this song?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the music, maybe 1 or 2, 3 songs were over the bar, but a lot of the music that we've put out, especially the last 6 years or so, has been inspiring music. No matter how danceable the joint is, it has always been conscious music.
Absolutely. Now, before I come to your new video you did with Ephraim, absolutely amazing, and I think it's timely, just came at the right time. But before I let you go, because that's a video we're living with, a lot of young artists want to reach out to you and probably just have a one-on-one and talk with you, but probably your schedule might not allow that. Somebody who looks up to you and wants to get into the music industry, what ultimate advice would you have for them if they're watching right now?
First of all, you must really be certain that music is your calling and it's really purpose for your life. And once you do that, learn about yourself and the best music that you can ever make, because the industry really is about knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and keeping away from your strengths and really focusing on keeping away from your weaknesses and really focusing on your strengths and how you can maximize on your strength or use that to your advantage. It's not going to be an easy road, but if you really believe and you really focus and put God first, then it's going to happen.
Always put God
A lot
first.
of people, like, you won't believe how many inboxes I get of people telling me, so how do I join Illuminati, or what do I do?
I saw you post something like that some other time.
Like,
is that for real though? Like people on a daily basis do that?
Yeah, man. Like, I have more than 100 messages in my inbox.
Whoa.
And the funny thing is, but guy, you've seen me move from like the skinny dude in baggy jeans and messed up shoes, the person that I am. How do you not believe that this is hard work that is paying off? Right. You know what I mean? Like, this is not something that happened overnight. Unless, yes, you sell your soul, become Illuminati, and then work 20 years later. So anyway, it's putting God first, man.
Yeah. All right. So now tell me about your brand new song, man. Umutima. What's the inspiration here, and how did you pick out Ephraim?
A lot of this music is made with honesty, it's made with emotion, and a lot of people who I've worked with is people who I really have get great chemistry with. Even when I met him, it's easy conversation, I don't have to think of it's just everything just flows. And those are the people that I find it so easy to work with. It's people that I can easily relate to, people who I feel we're on the same page with. And every single year, the first song that we drop is a gospel song. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but from 2015 we dropped a song called Proud Kada. In 2016 we dropped Kalombo Mwane. In 2017 we dropped Favor. This year we dropped Umutima. And so the first song of the year is always a gospel song. I always like to start on that note.
Awesome.
And believe me, January, people just want to listen to something that is inspiring like that. They just made it to the new year, and they're thankful that they made it. And music like this just makes sense. It's like a theme song to their lives. And that's what I've always tried to do is to make music that people can relate to.
Right.
Because I feel like music is an opinion, and if people share their opinion, then you're halfway there.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you, man. Man, always a pleasure having a conversation with you. Thanks a lot for coming through.
Thanks so much for having me.
This has been the Hit Wave, closing now with brand new Market 2 with Ephraim on it. Until next week, I'll be back on the Hit Wave. This has been Charlie. You've been awesome. Bye-bye.
Gots to wear a suit for this one. Yeah. Couple of Swag Ministries. I brought Ephraim with me. Jamba. Macky too. I won't stop till they understand.
Umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe.
Narirande panga mamilioni. May I remember you mwelesa. Noti fintunga vya shupero na isa kuliwe wati mwana pawelesa. Narirande konto kanekunga. Noti venga na ponso kamwitumba. Nariria walentesha tiwoli chikali. I hope they see your glory. Cause this is God engineering, a televised revolution. The Holy Ghost in the building, about to touch always shooting like hello. Mwali mwishe wa Yesu. We're going all out, let on no curfew. Bantu
Jehovah, Jehovah, niwe umpena. Jehovah, Jehovah, niwe wampena vyo. Jehovah, Jehovah, niwe usumbula. Jehovah, Jehovah, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe.
Look, Bambire kick to the pocket. Inende ande kwa tila kofe market. Taifi, tai short pa budget. Pa paper, pa TV, pa makajeti. Nifwetu tambika po, pa muono na lefwa yele sambika po. Lelo nafika po, wale tila nkafua fiende chula. Pachilesa emi abari abasulua. Wadishari pyo wajunta. Nisa ambula ansamfia. Wadishari pe chipunka. Nisa ambula angwa miandetila.
Jehovah, Jehovah,
niwe umpena.
Jehovah, Jehovah, niwe wampena vyo. Jehovah, Jehovah,
Niwe usumbula.
Jehovah, Jehovah, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe.
Sing for me.
Wandi na makaya ndine Jehova Fyose na kwata yawe nende mipela Agapalo na kwata yawe nimwe mwapela
Nimwe
Ifyuma na kwata yawe tifuma kuli imwe
Yeah.
Oh Jehova
Jehovah.
Oh Jehova.
Let me get it one more time. Yonse mumapepo ninjele lako patuna nombe vingi neshaleke lako lolonja kuchali chelo na pene nako shila pwililika yesa chilale mombe lapo atila shafwilile baba holi isafe ife fine holi songa ndili pasiteji chati bako fwana bantu nabo bapunda kwati niwe umpena
Jehovah, Jehovah, niwe wampena vyo.
niwe usumbula.
Jehovah, Jehovah,
Let's go.
umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe, umutima wandi ndekupera, umutima wandi niwe.
Ministries. Yeah. D's on forever. Yo, Ephraim, I think we got another one. Jamba, Macky too. Get up! Kekero Mr. Wadia Kalandanya.